Welcome to the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and this is the place to get all the information on what's going on inside the athletic department at IU Kokomo. And joining us at the top of the show once again, it is Grant Patterson. He is the sports information coordinator at IUK. And Grant is excited because Purdue is going to the Final Four.
Man, I'm geeked. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. And yes, of course, I made the trip to Detroit this weekend. Yes, I was bawling my eyes out in the bleachers after we won. And yes, I'm going to Arizona this weekend because I can't miss this, even if it means I'm broke for the next few months.
You know, I was thinking bawling your eyes out, and I saw Robbie Hummel, former Purdue basketball player, was bawling his eyes out literally as he's calling the game there on the radio. And I thought, oh, Robbie Hummel, it makes sense. But then these fans are doing it too. Like, it's one of those things. I've never been to a Final Four, not a game. I've been to the practice. Oh, great, I've been to a practice. That's right. Cool. Like, everybody can go.
Me too, so far.
Right? But being able to be there, you're going, first time for Purdue in over 40 years, it's amazing. And to be a fan that's doing this for the first time, they're doing it for the first time in your life, it's pretty fun, man.
Yeah, I'm geeked. And for me, my dad's the reason I'm a Purdue fan, and he was 11 last time that they made it. So his memory isn't really, like, I'm not sure how good of a memory he has of that team. Yeah. And my dad was a Purdue basketball manager back when Painter and these guys were on the team. So there's a little something special that, like, when I called my dad immediately after the clock struck 0 on Sunday, and I saw the tears in his eyes, and then it just opened the floodgates. And my friends got a lot of good videos of I wasn't the only friend crying. Let's make that let's make that clear. Yeah. And I definitely wasn't the only Purdue fan in my section, but I don't know, man. I just care a lot about my sports teams, and I put Purdue above all else. So to see those guys finally get that done, but the job's not done yet. 2 more or else none of this really matters. You know,
you use that word special to describe Purdue basketball currently right now. The word special comes to mind when talking about what is going on with the baseball team at IUK. Going to have the chance on the show to talk to Drew Brantley. He'll be joining us later to get an update about how the baseball team has played so far from his standpoint, being the head coach. But you get the opportunity to see and write the write-ups and see how the team is playing. Since I think we were away, they set a program record 11-game winning streak, and they just stayed hot. They're winning. They swept their last series. That was against IUPUC. Man, this team's playing so well right now.
Yeah, so well. And we were talking about it before, that 11-game win streak, that comes to an end, but still 15 of their last 17 games have been victories. I mean, I think it was a tough non-conference schedule. Yeah. Talking with Coach Brantley early in the year, we were worried. I mean, when we were 2-6, but we were 2-6 playing good competition 2 weeks into the year. So to see this finally come to fruition and see this team get what they've been working for, not just this year, but like this senior class, they've been here. The fifth-year seniors, they've been here 5 years. Some other guys 4. I'm sure there's a guy or two maybe that have been here 6, or if not close, but a lot of guys put in a lot of work to this to get where they are, and the job's far from over, but I think we're down to just 3 River States Conference series left on the year, and it's now or never to make your mark on the season and set up a deciding series, winner take all, essentially, take that number 1 seed going into the River States Conference tournament.
Now, I saw over the weekend, you could correct me if I'm wrong, there was something big that happened in one of the wins over IUPUC. Another program record, I think, was set in that game.
Yeah, the series opener, it was, I believe, talking with the pitching coach, Justin Reed, it was the second ever no-hitter, but the first ever combined no-hitter. I believe there was a no-hitter thrown in the first year of the program.
Oh, wow.
And that was just one guy throwing the complete game no-hitter. But 4 arms combined on the no-hitter for us. Logan Greer got the start. He's been asked to step up due to injury, step into the Friday role, which for those of you not familiar with baseball and these college baseball series and how they work, you're going to send your best guy out there Friday. I mean, it's just you want to get off on the right foot, especially in a short 3-game series where 2 games gives you the series win. So Logan has stepped up, and I know he had 4 walks. Would have probably liked to manage his control a little better, but 7 Ks, no hits allowed, and 6 innings of work last week. That sets the table for those bullpen guys. I mean, they got to be as confident as ever, knowing that their starter just went out there 6 innings, gave up no hits, and then that sets the table for them to cover the last 3 innings and do the same.
It's insane. Anytime I hear about a no-hitter, either just one pitcher or collective group of 4, it means something and it sticks out because that's a rare accomplishment for any team. And for IUK to be at this point in their season where they're trying to make noise in the RSC tournament down the road, that momentum and that confidence I got just from that game alone, it's big, man.
Yeah, and I want to say this. Normally I get to travel with the team early in the year. I get to be in the dugout and get to know the guys a little closer. Haven't been able to have that opportunity. Been a little busy due to some other things, but at home games, I'm up in the press box doing stats, so I got that relationship with the coaching staff, but not the guys. But I went down to Columbus this weekend, and man, the energy in the dugout, it just seems special.
Yeah.
And obviously that's my first time, so it could have been that way all season. But it feels like there's something more that this group is working towards, something more than we've ever seen before here at IU Kokomo. So super excited to see what can be done, and I have all the faith in the world in head coach Drew Brantley.
Not only was the baseball team on Front Street and doing amazing things recently, but also there was a couple athletes on the track and field side that received conference awards as well. I say as well. Baseball player previously won Player of the Week. So that's another Athlete of the Week thing that came from the conference level a while ago. But now you currently have, I think, Sydney Duncan and Ethan Carmine did amazing things last week at the recent track meet.
Yeah, they were down at Marion University in Indianapolis for their night open, I believe. And Sydney, the week before, in the first or second outdoor meet, I believe, she qualified for outdoor nationals in shot put with the A standard. So the harder the two standards to hit. If you pay attention to the show and listen, you're a common listener, then you know that she competed at indoor nationals. Well, Ethan also competed at indoor nationals in the race walk. But the thing to me, we'll start with Sydney. Sydney last week at the Marion University Night Open was incredible. She finished in the top 4 in 3 different events. She finished second in the shot put, I believe, finished behind a national finalist that finished ahead of her at indoor nationals from Marion. So that's an incredible feat. She extended her mark on her A standard that she set the week prior. She finished, I believe, 3rd in the discus, and then she finished 4th in the hammer throw. And so she's number 1, leads the River States Conference in all 3 throwing categories, if you will.
Right.
So it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's hard to believe. She was River States Conference Newcomer of the Year for indoor track. Hard to believe she doesn't do the same for outdoor track, but it's been nothing short of remarkable to kind of go along for the ride and see what she's done, and she's not even been here a whole year, so that's incredible. But then to Ethan Carmine in the race walking, he's been impressive. Shout out to the race walking coach Jordan Fivecoat. I know he's been working hard with these guys and girls in Madison Dotlich, so Ethan will compete, and he competed in the 5,000 meter race walk, had a time of 24:48:44 this past week. So that qualifies him with the A standard. Once again, the harder of 2. And the nicest thing about this is Sydney's from Frankton, nearby here, and then Ethan's from Pittsburgh. So both are within about an hour of Kokomo. Well, they'll get to compete at outdoor nationals this year. They're in Marion, Indiana, at nearby
Very
Indiana
close.
Westland. So their family, all of us, will be able to go and support. Sydney should be able to compete for a national title, and I don't see why Ethan can't too. He finished 10th at the indoor nationals. So 2 people who competed inside the top 10 at nationals, they'll have another chance at outdoor nationals, and we're not even halfway through the outdoor season.
Before we move further to the next event, I want to make a quick plug. And I know Coach Josh Colvin watches this show. Any athlete that qualifies for nationals, just like we did for the indoor national meet, if they qualify for the outdoor, I would love to have them back on the show to talk to them and get their insight about performing in the outdoor national meet. Sydney and Ethan were both on here previously. If he's willing to do it, which I think he probably will be, I'd love to do that again, get them to anybody else. Julian Wallace was one that I don't think I've heard his name recently. We heard about him in the decathlon and what he did there. Do you have an update, or were you able to get one about there being an A or B standard in that event?
I don't necessarily have an update on that. That's one maybe Josh Colvin will catch on while he's listening to this, and then he'll shoot us a text with the actual description. But maybe in the meantime, waiting for this show to come out, I'll get a hold of him. But that's an intriguing thing for me. I'm interested to learn because I honestly have no clue. It's a sport that I think we're all new on. Josh and them definitely know the standards it takes, but
Yeah.
it is a sport that an IU Kokomo athlete has never competed in, or a event, I should say. A set of 10 events. So it's pretty impeccable and remarkable that he's competing in that.
The spring calendar, actually the school calendar as well, is winding down at IUK and actually high schools and all the schools in Howard County. Grant, what are some sporting events that have a few more home matches or games that sports fans can attend before the sports season is over?
Yeah, if my mind's serving me correctly, there's only 3 sports that we have left with home games, and obviously you're going to think of baseball. I'll get to baseball in a second. They're on the road this weekend at Brescia, another key 3-game set in the River States Conference. But women's tennis, they've got four home matches left, but these 4 home matches are going to come quick. They're going to come this Friday and Saturday. I believe that's the 5th and the 6th, and then next Friday and Saturday, the 12th and the 13th. So we're going to have 4 home matches in the next 11 or 12 days for tennis. All 4 will be River States Conference matchups, and all 4 are at reasonable times of the day. So head on out to Greentown and the Howard County Indoor Tennis Center, and you can catch our tennis squad in action. But we also will have baseball will return home for the final 2 River States Conference series of the year. Those will be home series. Both will be against some foes. Midway won the regular season in the River States Conference last year, struggling a bit this year, but a good squad. And then you always know that Southeast is going to be a good squad, a team that goes out and plays well, fights hard, is competitive at the end of the day, and they've been a rival we've always tried to get after in the recent years, and nothing's going to change this year. So two series to end the regular season for baseball will be at home. That'll be nice, and then men's golf will host a tournament coming up here in a few Fridays. Check into next show, and I'll have an actual date for you, because I think we're still 2 or 3 Fridays from this Friday away from that.
Last thing here with Grant. You're going to the Final Four.
Of course.
There's a game that if Purdue wins on Saturday, they're definitely going to play on Monday, the final game of the season.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask you to pick the winner between NC State and Purdue. I think it's automatically going to be Purdue for you. Do you think UConn or Alabama will win the other game on Saturday?
There's no doubt that UConn wins that game to me. I mean, and I'm not even sure Purdue, I know Purdue can beat UConn, but I don't expect it to happen. That's how good UConn is. If you asked me, I would put UConn as about a 4.5-point favorite over the Boilers in the championship game. And I mean, I have full confidence the Boilers are going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch that game this weekend, they beat Tennessee hitting 3 threes. I mean, 3 threes, and Zach Edey went off. Zach Edey is going to go off every game the rest of the way. He's going to eat DJ Burns alive, and he's going to be able to kick the ball out for threes. We're going to get the job done this weekend.
Let's go to the women's side really quickly, just these last little things with you. South Carolina and NC State on the women's Final Four. First game that's going to be played, I do believe that is on, I think, Friday.
Yeah, quick turnaround for the women.
Who you got, South Carolina or NC State?
South Carolina for sure, no doubt about that one. NC State, good little Cinderella, not a Cinderella, but the fact that both teams got to the Final Four, that's pretty awesome. I like NC State's women's basketball coach. He spits the truth, and he's not afraid to shy away from it. I watched a rerun of their game this weekend, but they beat number 1 seed Texas. They're not going to beat South Carolina this weekend, and I don't think it'll be particularly close. I think UConn gets the job done over Iowa. Watching both games last night, UConn's a better team than Iowa. Caitlin Clark's a lot of fun to watch, but I like watching Paige Beckers and Ashlyn Shade, the Noblesville, Indiana product. So I'm going to ride with UConn to get it done. And I've never said that in my life because I don't like Gino Auriemma, but I want UConn. I want the Huskies to get it done on the women's side. I
got South Carolina on the women's, the first Final Four game on Friday, and then I got UConn on the women's side. The second one, who you got winning the championship for the women?
UConn, no doubt.
Same, we agree.
Yeah, so what do you have on the men's side? You got to tell me that.
I laid that on purpose. I didn't want to go there at all. I got Purdue beating NC State. I do think, not just Zach Edey, but I think Fletcher Lawyer is going to get hot a little bit in that game.
And he's been starting to heat up over the course of the last 2.
I got UConn over Alabama. I can't stand that team in Tuscaloosa at all.
Yeah, I'm not a Nate Oates fan.
It's not just Nate Oates. It's just the whole program, the whole school. Just don't care at all.
That's fair.
That's just me. And then it's just weird, man. I don't root for Purdue.
Yeah.
Really in anything.
But how do you not root for the school? And you're from the state of Indiana. How do you not root for him?
My mom's an IU grad.
That doesn't mean anything.
It does to me.
My grandma, I got a lot of family members that are IU grads. But hey, and I hate to say this, my friends will not watch this. But if IU were in the national championship game, I would be cheering for IU.
It's weird because I do think UConn's going to win.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for Matt Painter's team. I respect him a lot. The team's really good. It's weird, though. It's weird. I'm in a weird spot right now.
But you make a good point. You don't have to like anybody on this Purdue squad. I think you can just like Matt Painter, the coach. And it's hard not to like Matt Painter, the coach.
If we had the ability to take his one-liners from his press conferences and play him here on the show, I think everyone would realize why we like him so much.
Yeah, I mean, needless to say, Matt Painter is my idol.
We got to get out of here. We can talk all day, guys. Coming up next, Coach Drew Brantley, the IUK baseball coach, will be coming up. We might get some picks from him, but we'll definitely hear an update about what's going on with the IUK baseball team. As the Cougar Cast rolls on, I'd like to welcome into the show the IUK baseball coach who we talked to before the season started, but he's back here in the midst of a great run that the baseball coach is on. It is head coach of the Cougars, Mr. Drew Brantley. Drew, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jay. It's always a good time to be here.
You know, we talked before the season. We had your big, tall pitcher, Ben Harris, here, and I was curious. Didn't know which way to go. Didn't know if I should be excited. Yeah, national tournament berth is going to happen this year, making noise in the conference tournament. I didn't know where to sit. I didn't know where to stand. Clearly, right now, this team is clicking and hitting on all cylinders at the right time. Did you expect this?
Yeah, I did. I think, the way that we started the year, we started off slow-ish. We scheduled our non-conference, our preseason games for a reason. I mean, we played some really good competition, top 5 teams, top 10 teams, a lot of teams that were ranked and good competition. And, the wins and losses may not have stacked up, but the way that we competed was really good. That translated right into to conference play for us. And we are starting to heat up at the right time. We still have 4 weekends left, 3 weekends left of our regular season, then right into the conference tournament. So things are heating up. Things are going really well. Provided we can stay away from some injury, we'll be in a good spot.
What is the injury status of the team right now?
Yeah, we've definitely been playing the next man up role for a handful of weeks now. We've battled through it. We've lost some of our hitters. We've lost a couple pitchers, but honestly, all of our guys are prepared. All the guys that have stepped into the role, they've understood the expectation. They know exactly what their role is and how to compete to win each pitch.
Some of those guys, just kind of piggybacking off of that too, who are some of those guys that have stepped up when called upon because players are hurt?
Honestly, guys that stepped into the lineup that are new faces. Braden Coffey comes to mind. He has been playing shortstop with Caden Whitehead. Both of those guys have kind of been platooning there at short, and we lost the guy that we thought was going to play short for us in the first game of the year. So those two guys kind of stepping up and playing a huge role for us. They've been great. Braden Coffey hit a walk-off home run. Caden Whitehead has been unreal defensively and just really provided some stability for us. On the pitching side, it's honestly been the entire pitching staff. We've dealt with some form of adversity and injury pretty much all year. Logan Greer, he just got the start at IUPUC, and he was involved in that combined no-hitter. But then our bullpen as well, guys like Nathan Stanley, Jack Brewington, Brandon Boltemeyer, and I know I'm missing guys, Victor Fuji, and our entire bullpen has stepped up in a big way. I know I'm missing a few names, but our entire staff has done great.
When I hear about players getting hurt and the next man up mentality, it's one of those where you hear about it all your life, playing sports or watching sports, next man up. Everyone talks about it. Coaches, I'm sure you talk about it too. But it's got to be interesting to see those guys when called upon. You know what they can do, or you may think you know what they can do, but actually seeing it, Drew, from your standpoint, it's got to be fun to see players do what they're asked to do, but also maybe do things maybe they don't think they can do, but doing it for the very first time. And you're like, yeah, we all know you can do it. But Drew is like, yeah, you finally are.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the moments that does come to mind for me is when we played Lourdes University here. Oh man, it's probably been a month. It feels like a year ago, but it's probably been a month ago. It was kind of right in the beginning of that stretch that we had, and we played extra innings, and Braden Coffey ended up hitting a walk-off home run that game, and just seeing his face after he hit the ball, he was kind of surprised.
Yeah,
and it was. I don't think any of us were on the coaching staff. I don't think any of his teammates were. It was just kind of like, yeah, man, like everything that we've done to this point's prepared you for this moment. You just did your thing and let it rip, and this is what happened. It's just a byproduct of the work that the guys have put in, and all credit to the guys. I mean, I think a lot of the times people say next man up is, it's kind of like a motivational thing, like, to get fired up and to get ready. But our guys have really bought into it, and we're not really missing a step. Like, absolutely, we are missing the guys that are hurt, and we wish that they were healthy. Nobody, wishes that upon anybody. But, at the end of the day, we've put in a ton of work, and every single person, top to bottom, has put in work, and they're ready to roll. So it's been awesome to see, been awesome to be a part of.
What have you learned about yourself during this season so far?
Oh, man. About myself?
Just on the coaching side of things, not just like you as a person, like learning about more who you are, but more so coaching-wise.
Yeah, I think on the coaching side, this is my third year running the program. There's been a lot that we've changed as a coaching staff. I think for me and for our other coaches, Jeremy Honecker, Justin Reed, the three of us, we have dealt with so much adversity just through injury and travel and weather and so much that changed. The three of us are really, really close right now. And we can honestly get through anything and everything that the season's going to throw at us. And I think that trickles down to the players as well. I think our guys are in a really, really good spot, and they have the ability to handle any type of adversity. So I think just being adaptable and flexible to adverse situations, it's been a real test. It's been a grind, but I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
I don't think so. I see the smile whenever I see you at a baseball game, here in the studio, wherever it is, that smile's on your face. And I can always tell you do enjoy the things you're doing right now at IUK. I was able to go to one game so far this year. Plan on going to at least want to try to. It's a busy few weeks. Going to try to go to at least one more. The reason why I bring that up, team right now is 24-13 at the time of the recording, 12-3 in the conference. Is there an opportunity for the team to host a conference tournament game?
Yeah, there is. So we have 3 divisional weekends left. We go to Brescia this weekend, and then that's our last weekend series until the conference tournament. And then we host IU Southeast and Midway. And, we're in a position, as long as we take care of business, we're in the driver's seat.
Okay.
IU Southeast is really good. They're right there with us. And Midway won the conference last year, so they're going to be really competitive. But those last 2 weekends, when we're at home against IU Southeast and Midway, it should be some really, really good baseball. It should be looking ahead at the 10-day forecast. Like the projection for next Friday is like 71 and sunny.
Ooh,
so
that's beautiful, man.
It's going to be pretty incredible. Hopefully it sticks. But the way that we finish the season with the 2 teams coming to town, it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
How do the players react to the fans in the stands when the fans get loud and start cheering and you see, Grant was talking about the dugout and how the energy is there and it's electric. How do you see, though, the fans impact how the players play?
This is honestly probably the first year that I could say this. Like, our guys in the dugout really don't need a whole lot of help getting fired up. Like, they get fired up for each other. But when we have fans there at home at the stadium and it gets loud, it's a different beast. Yeah. Like, we are a tough team to beat. If there's some people behind us, if we're tough to beat right now when we're doing our thing, but when we're at the stadium, when we're at KMS and there's some people in the seats, good luck. Good luck. I wouldn't want to be in the other dugout, that's for sure.
Dude, that stadium is so beautiful.
Oh, man.
It's so amazing.
Yep.
I've seen numerous games there. Unfortunately, because I've seen more Jackrabbits games than Cougars baseball games there. I got to see the soccer team play, I think, one game. Mm-hmm. I think the game before they won the conference tournament. But I was like, I found the stadium. Even before I moved to Kokomo, I realized that there was a beautiful stadium up here. South Kokomo games. Like, okay, this is nice. It's completely different when the Cougars are there. Mm-hmm. Like, Jackrabbits fans are cool and everything. Like, it gets loud. Don't get me wrong. UK fans definitely get louder. Does it have to be full for everyone to get loud? And I've seen how it impacts the soccer team. I can't wait to see how it impacts the baseball players. Of course, that weather, 71 and sunny, that's going to change everybody's mood.
Everybody's mood. 2 years ago, we hosted IU Southeast. On the weekend, the Friday night game that we played, it ended up being at like 5 o'clock that night, and I think there were just under 1,000 people there, right at like 900 people, and that was probably one of the coolest moments that I've had coaching. Just seeing that many people in the stadium, in the crimson and white, just getting after it. That was really cool. So, obviously we'd love to see that again, but having the 71-degree weather, you got the playground out there, there's so much to see at the stadium, so much to see, even though it's just right in our backyard. There's no better place to be in April.
Do you ever miss playing?
It's been so long, man. I haven't played since my last game was August 1st of 2012.
You know the date?
Yeah, I know the day. I won't ever forget it. It was it was a crazy day. My mom and dad were there. I think it was a day that we probably won't forget. But yeah, I haven't played in a while. I honestly don't remember what it was like to play.
Yeah.
It just, coaching for so long, obviously I know what it's like to coach, but I can't even tell you what that adrenaline feels like stepping up to the plate or anything like that. But it's I would assume that it's pretty close when you got a packed KMS.
No, I know that maybe baseball playing in an adult league or a slow pitch softball league might not be able to happen. They got kickball in the fall. I know is that a possibility? Grant may want to play and other coaches there at IUK. Is that possible that you guys could get a team together to play there?
Oh, we could definitely do it. I don't know if we would. There's some pretty athletic people that play in that adult kickball league. That's for sure. It gets intense out there in the fall. We finish up practice in an hour, 30 minutes before they start playing, and there's a lot of days that we'll hang back and we'll watch the first game that goes on, and it's fun. I mean, it is fun to watch. Honestly, the weather's always nice in September and October there. So, to spend your Thursday, Friday night there hanging out, playing some kickball, it's a good way to pass your summer. One
thing I would like to do with some coaches at IUK when they're able to come on the show is talk about some camps that are coming up later throughout this year. And I understand that the baseball team does a camp for, I don't know the age groups, but they do a camp later on where players and high school players, middle school, whatever the age group is, that they can get coached up by you or other IUK players. How does that work out?
Yeah, so we just got back into camps. Obviously COVID kind of slowed us down a little bit, but trying to get back into the camp scene, just giving people an opportunity to see, the stadium, to be around the guys, just to kind of see what it's like to be a college baseball player for a day. Obviously, camp days are a little bit different than regular practice days, but we opened it up to all high school age groups, and all of our guys, the majority of our players are out there facilitating drills, talking through different things, recruiting talks and conversations with parents happen. Just making sure that we can be as much of as an asset for people who have never been through the process is what we can be. So recruiting is always uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to hear from so many different schools and coaches and players. So just to be out there, just to be a sounding board and kind of give our advice and our piece, that's as best we can do.
What is some feedback you have received from those camps that you've been a part of?
We actually I think we have 4 or 5 kids on the team that are kids that we recruited through our camps.
That's amazing.
So it's been really good for us to, have an opportunity to see kids that we may not have seen before in the past. We spend our summers at Grand Park recruiting and in Georgia and just honestly all over the place trying to find kids. But kids do, fall through the cracks. So for them to show up at our camp and do their thing, and we get firsthand experience with them, get to talk to them, get to know who they are a little bit. It just gives us an opportunity to get to know somebody on a little bit deeper level, and it's been really good for us.
With this being Final Four week, I know we don't go outside of things going on at IUK with Drew on the show, but it's Final Four week. We got a few picks in. You've heard mine earlier, got to hear Grant's. Final Four, we're going to go men's side, then women's side, then wrap up the show. Who do you have winning between Purdue and North Carolina State?
Oh, man. Grant's going to kill me if I don't say Purdue. I would love to see NC State win. I really would. They're the 11th seed. I know Purdue's right up the road. I'm not a huge Purdue fan by any stretch, but IU does sign my check, so I feel like I'm kind of
smart man here.
Two-way here. I got to say NC State for that reason. But no, it is pretty incredible what they've done. They had to win 5 straight, right, in the ACC tournament. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't be in, and now they're here in the Final Four. That is a pretty incredible run. I think it's going to be a pretty tough task for them to beat Purdue, but I would love to see NC State win. I really would.
So did you say NC State or Purdue?
I'm going to go with NC State.
Okay.
I'm going to go with NC State.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. UConn or Alabama?
UConn. I don't think anybody's beating UConn right now.
So it's safe to say they're going to win the national championship in your eyes?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're a tough team to beat right now.
Very, very tough. And then on the women's side, let me go back. Wait, no. Yeah. Let me go back to the women. Haven't used this app in a while. South Carolina and NC State on the women's side. Who you have winning that one?
It's hard to go against South Carolina. They're so well coached.
Man.
I mean, they handle adversity so well, and especially at that stage, it's hard to go against that. They don't make mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. You got to go with them. You have to.
Iowa or UConn?
Man, this is tough because Caitlin Clark's going to be a part of the fever here soon. I mean, she tore it up last night. What, she have 40? I think she had 40 and like 12 assists, 6 boards, something like that. But
I think she hit like 9 threes,
Yes.
and most of them are like 25 feet on out. And I'm
Yes.
like, who does this? Caitlin Clark does.
that's it. Yeah, and it's hard to go against Paige too for UConn. But man, I'm going to pick Iowa honestly because I heard Grant go with UConn. I got to go with Iowa. I like playing the devil's advocate with him. We go back and forth in the office. It's a good time. And I do like watching Caitlin play. She competes. She's a competitor. So I'm going to go with Iowa. And then, I'll take South Carolina in the championship again. It's tough to beat a team that doesn't make mistakes. It really is.
Yeah. You heard our picks. What are your picks? Tweet at IU Kokomo Athletics on Twitter. I don't know if they respond. Somebody will see it, and we'll be able to put a little list together and put our brains together to make some picks about the games coming up this week. Really appreciate Drew Brantley coming back on the show. Got to hear about the camp coming up later on. When we get more information, you'll definitely hear it here on the show. Always appreciate Grant Patterson coming on the show as well. This has been the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next time.